slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your issue splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Into the trends. See you, Lee, be the band.
Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, June, and I just want to give out a little brief disclaimer. I did a profile player on Rick Mahorn, and I totally botched it up. Yeah, players mess up. So what you heard, if you're paying attention to the post-game podcast, when I did the last feature player profile, it was on Rick Mahorn. I played the wrong intro. I believe I introduced it as Bleachers and Speakers. That was a post-game podcast type of thing. I get it. I got it confused. It's early. Pardon self. I didn't mean to confuse anyone. If you watch that feature profile and you say, hey, this is the wrong music, or this isn't Bleachers and Speakers, I botched it up. It's too late. It's water under the bridge. Whatever. Anyway, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube and also follow us on all the aggregators. That's anywhere you can hear a podcast. All you got to do is type in Bleachers and Speakers, FFSN, in your search. Make sure you're following us. Make sure that notification bell is on, so when we drop content, you'll get an alert and download those episodes. I've given you enough prelude to this show, to this segment. I want to talk about this wide receiver from Detroit, right? My old school feature player of the week. I'll start by saying this guy was drafted during a time where we had two really good receivers, and the offense that was ran needed a third wide receiver. And this guy was probably the best guy for the fit. And I'm talking about none other than Johnny Morton. We already had Herman Moore and Brett Perriman. We needed a third wide receiver, and we also needed a speedy guy in case Brett Perriman wasn't going to return, or, to be a finisher, finish off where Brett Perriman started off. This guy, Johnny Morton, was 6 foot even, about 195 pounds, and he ran a 4.440, something like 4.445, and he was out of USC. Get a wide receiver out of USC back then, and even now, he was in good hands. Johnny Morton was a wide receiver. He played from 1994 to 2001. He played in a total of 126 games, recording 489 receptions for 6,499 yards. I want to say 6,500, but the stats are the stats. He had 35 touchdowns, and he averaged 13.9 per reception and 51.6 receiving yards per game. He was drafted number 21 in the 1994 draft, and he became a key part of the receiving corps, contributing significantly to the Lions offense. As of 2005, he ranked third. As of 2015, I'm getting these stats from somewhere else. I don't even want to read that stat because that could be updated. But at one point, he was ranked third in franchise history for both receptions and receiving yards. I'm pretty sure he's not third anymore. And that was because of a guy named Megatron and St. Brown. So he probably moved down the slope a little bit. But this was number 87. He was the perfect complementary wide receiver for the receivers we had intact. And ultimately, we lost Herman Moore and we lost Brett Perriman. I think Herman Moore to retirement, and we lost Brett Perriman to free agency or whatever, trade, whatever. And it was just Johnny. And Johnny was the leading receiver, and he was also the number one receiver on the team where we were 1-14 at one point. And I think Jay Leno said he would something. I don't know. Jay Leno had something to say about the Lions, and the Lions ultimately won that game. And they wound up being 2-14 that season. But they interviewed Johnny Morton, and he said, Jay Leno can kiss my. And Jay Leno went on the Tonight Show and kissed the donkey on the butt. I am not kidding. You can go research that. That happened. So when you think about the complimentary receiver, that third receiver slot, if you think about that, Johnny Morton was that for the Detroit Lions, and he was an integral part of that offense. He gave you, if you doubled Brett or you doubled Herman Moore, you had to deal with this guy. So subscribe to Bleachers Speakers on YouTube. We are almost at 300 subscribers. So if you're listening and you haven't subscribed, you're wrong. Subscribe to 300. I remember when we only had one subscriber. We're getting close to 300, and we thank you guys for your support. If you've already subscribed, make sure that you're watching the content, liking, sharing, commenting. That keeps us in the algorithm. Tell a friend about it. Spread the love, man. We appreciate you. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube and follow us on all the aggregators. Wherever you can hear a podcast, you can find us. Just type in Bleachers to Speakers FFSN in your search. You'll find us.
Get your lick back. If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat.